Muhammad Ali, also known as Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., was one of the most influential and well-known athletes in history. He was born on January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky, and passed away on June 3, 2016, in Phoenix, Arizona. He was a professional boxer, philanthropist, and social activist who inspired millions of people around the world. Early life and boxing career. Muhammad Ali grew up in a predominantly African-American neighborhood in Louisville, Kentucky. His father, Cassius Marcellus Clay Sr., was a sign painter, and his mother, Odessa Grady Clay, was a household domestic. Ali's father was also a part-time musician, and often played at local bars and clubs. Ali had a younger brother named Rudolph Valentino Clay, who later changed his name to Rahman Ali. Ali discovered his love for boxing at the age of 12, after his bike was stolen. He reported the theft to a police officer who also happened to be a boxing trainer. The officer suggested that Ali learn to box, so he could defend himself if necessary. Ali was immediately hooked on the sport, and began training with the officer, Fred Stoner. In 1954, Ali won his first boxing match, and by 1960, he had won 6 Kentucky Golden Gloves championships, 2 National Golden Gloves championships, and a gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome. After the Olympics, Ali turned professional, and he won his first professional fight on October 29, 1960, against Tony Hunsaker. He won his first 19 fights, including 15 by knockout. In 1964, Ali got his chance to fight for the world heavyweight title against Sonny Liston. Ali was a 7-1 underdog going into the fight, but he shocked the world by beating Liston in 7 rounds to become the heavyweight champion of the world. After the fight, Ali announced that he had converted to Islam and changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. The Vietnam War and Ali's activism. In 1966, Ali was drafted into the United States Army to fight in the Vietnam War. However, Ali refused to be drafted, citing his religious beliefs and opposition to the war. He famously said, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. No Viet Cong ever called me N." Ali's refusal to be drafted caused a firestorm of controversy and led to him being stripped of his boxing titles and banned from boxing for several years. During his exile from boxing, Ali became an outspoken critic of the Vietnam War and a prominent figure in the civil rights movement. He gave speeches at colleges and universities across the country, speaking out against the war and advocating for racial equality. He also became involved in humanitarian causes, including providing aid to people in need in Africa and Asia. Returned to boxing and later life. In 1970, Ali's boxing ban was lifted, and he returned to the ring. He regained his world heavyweight title in 1974, in a fight known as the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman in Kinshasa, Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. Ali used a strategy called the rope-a-dope, in which he leaned against the ropes and allowed Foreman to punch him, tiring out the champion before delivering a knockout punch in the 8th round. Ali went on to have several more iconic fights, including the Thriller in Manila against Joe Frazier in 1975 and his last fight, a loss to Trevor Berbick in 1981. In total, Ali had a professional record of 56 wins, 5 losses, and 37 knockouts. In the later years of his life, Ali continued to be a global icon and humanitarian. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 1984, which was widely believed to be caused by his many years of boxing. Despite his illness, Ali continued to be an advocate for social justice and philanthropy. He founded the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center in Phoenix, Arizona, which provides support and resources to people living with Parkinson's disease. Legacy. Muhammad Ali's legacy extends far beyond his boxing career. He was an advocate for social justice and used his platform to speak out against racism, war, and inequality. He inspired countless people around the world with his courage, charisma, and determination. His famous quotes, including "float like a butterfly, sting like a bee," and "I am the greatest," have become part of popular culture. Ali was also a trailblazer in the sport of boxing. He revolutionized the way boxers fought by using his speed and footwork to dodge punches, and he was one of the first fighters to use psychological tactics to intimidate his opponents. He paved the way for future generations of boxers, including Floyd Mayweather Jr., Mike Tyson, and Manny Pacquiao. Ali received numerous awards and honors throughout his life, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in the United States. He was also inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990 and the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Century Award, in 1999. Conclusion: Muhammad Ali was a true legend in every sense of the word. He was a world-class athlete, a humanitarian, and a social activist who used his platform to make a positive difference in the world. His impact on boxing and popular culture is immeasurable, and his legacy will continue to inspire future generations for years to come. Muhammad Ali's impact on the sport of boxing cannot be overstated. He not only revolutionized the way boxers fought but also became a symbol of strength and resilience for African Americans during a time of great social upheaval. He was a trailblazer who defied conventional thinking, and inspired others to do the same. One of the most memorable moments of Ali's career was his decision to refuse to be drafted into the United States Army during the Vietnam War. At the time, the war was a highly controversial issue, and many Americans were deeply divided over whether the United States should be involved. Ali's refusal to be drafted was a bold and courageous stand against the war, and it made him a hero to many Americans who shared his views. However, Ali's decision also came at a great cost. He was stripped of his boxing titles and banned from boxing for several years, during what many consider to be the prime of his career. But Ali remained steadfast in his convictions, even as he faced widespread criticism and condemnation. Ali's activism during this time period went far beyond his opposition to the Vietnam War. He was also a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, speaking out against racism and inequality at a time when these issues were at the forefront of American society. He famously declared, "I am America. I am the part you won't recognize. But get used to me. Black, confident, cocky, my name, not yours, my religion, not yours, my goals, my own, get used to me." Ali's activism and courage inspired a generation of young people to fight for social justice and equality. He showed that athletes could use their platform to effect real change in the world, and he paved the way for other sports stars, such as Colin Kaepernick, who have used their voices to draw attention to important social issues. In addition to his activism, Ali was also a master of his craft. He was known for his speed and agility in the ring, as well as his psychological tactics, such as taunting his opponents and predicting the round in which he would knock them out. He was a three-time heavyweight champion and his fights were some of the most memorable in boxing history. Ali's famous fights include the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman in 1974, the Thriller in Manila against Joe Frazier in 1975, and his epic battles with Ken Norton. These fights showcased Ali's incredible skill and endurance, and cemented his legacy as one of the greatest boxers of all time. However, Ali's career was not without controversy. He was known for his brash and sometimes offensive behavior, and he often drew criticism for his treatment of opponents, particularly Joe Frazier, whom he famously called an Uncle Tom. And quote. He also had a tumultuous personal life, including multiple marriages and a strained relationship with his children. Despite these controversies, Ali remained one of the most beloved and influential figures in sports history. He was a larger-than-life personality, who captured the hearts and imaginations of people around the world. He was a symbol of courage, resilience, and determination, and his legacy will continue to inspire future generations of athletes and activists for years to come. In conclusion, Muhammad Ali was much more than just a boxer. He was a symbol of social justice, a trailblazer in the sport of boxing, and a larger-than-life personality, who inspired millions of people around the world. His impact on popular culture and sports history is immeasurable, and his legacy will continue to inspire future generations for decades to come.